Newspaper this morning, fraudsters hack company's server, steal 435.3 million naira. IPOB protest, 10th deadliest terror group ranking. Don't reject code 9 note, agency tells Lagos residents. Polls, Lagos, Kano, Rivers government candidates face tough battles. I'm still open to marriage, IK Ogbonna. Inflation can't reduce with high fuel price, Abuja chamber. Enugu siblings kill uncle's guard son over car. Power firm replaces broken pole after report. And we're still on the punch. Ondo police allegedly torture hotel lodger to death. And take a couple more while we move to another paper. New Naira crisis paralyzed real estate projects association president. And finally, manufacturers allege 25% sales drop over cash crunch.
All right, now to the cable NG this morning. There are quite a number of headlines on the front page of, what would I say, on the news engine itself on online. And of course, we have this: did Tinubu win the presidential poll? And that's a question mark. Obedience to alternative collation of results. All right, we have more headlines here. And this says: presidential poll, we did not withdraw petition challenging Tinubu's victory, says PDP. Dele Alake, it's unfair to say presidential election was fraudulent. It's most credible since 1999. And here still talking about COVID, WHO to classify Omicron subvariants separately due to dominance. And this is a report: Nigeria dominates African cocaine smuggling routes. Buhari, I hope next administration will continue our anti-corruption war. All right, Libel, what I said about you isn't false. Saliu Lukman replies Omishore. And we have Tinubu, I will work with competent people. My aim higher than government of national unity. Supreme Court affirms Hembe as Benue LP Guba candidate. And of course, Rose Vivo visits Oba of public conference. From census, not political, is intended to generate data. And Oba visits Anambra, or Obi visits Anambra to converse support for LP State Assembly candidates. And that's about it from the Cable NG this morning.
All right, on Daily Post, the first story here says elections, police announce restriction of movement to ban quasi security outfits in Yobe. And more stories, Nigeria, Tinubu reveals type of government he'll form. Away from that one, this one says Yobe election rethink, desist from any act of violence, police tells troublemakers. And this one says Lagos Guba, CSO kicks as Oba Demola fixes Oro Festival on election day. And more stories, this one says 3 allegedly killed as supporters clash in Ibadan. Rivers United celebrates Sochima's maiden Super Eagles invitation. Daily Post, this one says, all right, moving away from that. Don't die because of any politician. Police warn supporters 2023. And more stories. Osun government assures residents of peaceful assembly elections. And this one says, Guba elections, IG of police announces restriction of vehicular movement. PDP. Okay, away from that, this one says, on the Daily Post, court restrains police from arresting Osun leaders, members ahead assembly election. And still some more. We'll take a couple more while we move to another paper. EFCC arraigns professor for alleged 1.4 billion naira fraud. And finally, on the Daily Post, security agencies comb Kaduna Metropolis ahead governorship state assembly election.
All right, quickly now to the Vanguard newspaper. And of course, there's this bold headline: one day to polls, anxiety as 837 governor, 10,240 assembly candidates go to war. All right, indeed, war. And this says there is anxiety in the polity as no fewer than 837 candidates, including 24 women, go to battle tomorrow for 28 governorship seats. Also, 10,240 standard bearers are destined for 993 state assembly slots in the polls. All right, more headlines here says we are committed to due process, staff welfare. NSITF is giving that. And Southern Kaduna killings. Killers playing a script to suppress votes. PDP chair is coming up with that. Anti-corruption CSO's lawyers petitioned Buhari demand probe of EFCC on the Bawa presidential election results came as a shock to many. That's what the presidency is saying. Telcos here lose 12 million naira internet subscribers to NIN's SIM linkage. NCC is saying that telcos lose 12 million naira internet subscribers to NIN SIM linkage. According to NCC, I intend forming government of national competence, coming from Tinubu. And we'll take two more from the Vanguard this morning. And this says, post threat of violence, intimidation, war in national peace committee. All right. And the last one says, cash circulation improves as new banknotes dry up. Right.
All right, from the Nation, Naira redesign mixed reactions trail CBN's directive as banks struggle to meet customers' demand. And some more stories here says Liberia, defense prosecution grill Finnish police fixer in appeals hearing of massacre. Ekiti doctors set to commence strike midnight Friday over poor welfare. This one also says death threats, poor job losses, Nigerian whistleblowers who risked everything for public interest. And we'll go on a commercial break. When we come back, we'll be back with the analysis. Stay with us.
Stay tuned to 32 FM 94.9.
Glow has brought instant money into your hands by giving you the power to buy your Green Lotto tickets with your Glow airtime. So when you dial *73342# on your Glow line, you can buy Green Lotto tickets with your airtime. Play your favorite games, check your results, and get your winnings via airtime or direct transfer to your bank account. Now you have the power to change your life with your hands by dialing *73342# on your Glow line to play on Green Lotto using your airtime and win instant cash today. Glow Unlimited.
So, as you wake up one first check highlight for early momo, you can't remember say, time for school runs don't reach you. Baller wey sabi be 1-4 hand for there. How you go do your thing? Come still catch up with your game. That na baller wey sabi. How you go do your waka? Come still watch the game full time. Abi, come on, baller. Showmax dey your side. Sake of say dem dey summer you with better leagues for any screen, anytime, any day. No matter where you dey. For chicken money wey be 3,200 naira a month. Live from SuperSport on Showmax Pro. Make you sign up for showmax.com.
Sleep is a beautiful gift of nature. Sleep is essential for performance, to reduce stress, and for our total well-being. Join Muka as we spread the word about sleep to make the world a healthier place. Happy World Sleep Day from Muka. Muka, adding comfort to life since 1959.
My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in your weakness. Christ Apostolic Church, Covenant of Mercy, Mercy Camp presents 72 Hours with God. Theme, Grace. Guest artists, Big Bolaji, Evangelist Yinka Alashiori, Elijah Olorun Sobe, Evangelist Dari Melody, Bridget Adenubi Esther, Atinuke Adefisoy Rimajem, Benga Denuga, Chigozie, and our very host, God's anointed prophet of our time, Prophet Taiwo Ojo, and other ministers of God. 72 Hours with God will be happening live at CSC Mercy Camp, Kilometer 18, Ibadan Ife Expressway, Oshengere, Ikire Road, Ibadan, from Friday the 24th to Monday the 27th of March 2023, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., 3 to 5 p.m., Vigil, 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. For more information, please call 0805-027-5779 or 0813-726-6076. 72 Hours with God. Grace like never before.
It's time to enjoy fast and reliable internet connection for less.
It's time to go big in the INT'L Home Broadband All-Time Mega Offer.
It's time to take advantage in the INT'L Home Broadband All-Time Mega Offer. Get a MiFi with up to 125 gigabyte bonus data for just 5,000 naira, or a router with up to 240 gigabyte bonus data for just 10,000 naira. Visit any INT'L shop or www.airtel.com.ng/HBB now.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
All right, you're welcome back to the Break of Dawn Papers Review on 32 FM 94.9. I am DENIKE Adimowago.
And I'm GBOLABO, famous scholar. Professor Jedo Queen is with us in the studios already. Good morning, Prof.
Well, top of the day to you, and of course, a pleasure to be here.
All right, quickly, let's look at this is two-in-one question as it stands. Now, government of national competence, that's what Tinubu is talking about. He said he's going to build a government of competence and not of national unity here. And, of course, let's also look at the poll that is coming up, talking about the governorship, 837 governorship candidates. And, of course, we have 10,240 assembly candidates. Already we're seeing skirmishes going on and a lot of drama. And already we could see that violence has started rearing its ugly face even before the election has even started. Now, putting all of this together, will it injure our democracy itself?
Well, first and foremost, I think that's very Tinubu-esque. By saying what he wants is a government of competence. And I think it's similar to what Gordon Brown said so many years ago when he came in as Prime Minister of Britain and said, a government of all talents. In other words, you can get unity, but you're not going to sacrifice unity for talent. And I think a lot of people, they may not have supported this man. They may still not support him, but they have every confidence that competence will be one of the hallmarks of this administration, and they are desperately looking for that competence in Nigeria's affair. And democracy can only be sustained if there's competence, if there's performance, if there are achievements. In terms of what's been going on, people need to understand that violence is not the way. People need to understand that the will of the people is the will of God, voice popular, voice do. So they need to understand that in a democracy, it is government not by violence for violence and of violence. It is government by the people for the people, and of course by the people. And I think that takes time. You know, we've been having this election since 1999, and there are people who have never known anything but this so-called civilian rule or democracy, as some of us choose to call it. And I think with time we can build on it so that people will learn that if you perform well, if you do your job in whatever position or capacity, then you will be re-elected. But if you go there and you go and play games, you understand, skelewu or whatever they call it, you understand, dancing that all over the place, then you will lose, you know, from that point of view. So I think people need to learn that lesson. And people must not be rewarded. And all those that rig, let there be consequences. So that if you rig and you get there, you'll be toughed out by the court.
Okay, so we're still speaking on the elections tomorrow, the gubernatorial and House of Assembly elections. So what are your expectations and projections for the elections? Are you most eager to get over with it, as we had a postponement last week and now it's finally here? Because it seems like most of Nigerians have been walking on thin ice, holding their breath, all of this shenanigans to be over. And what do you say about do or die politics?
Well, there will be some people who say it has fun and games and not necessarily shenanigans, as you referred to. But the way I see it is disrupted. I'm a teacher, and it's disrupted our academic calendar. We've lost 3 weeks, well, possibly 4 weeks. And of course, we want some normalcy. But apart from that, also, everything is on a standstill. The economy is on a standstill. Government policy is on a standstill. And of course, we welcome some stability and some direction. So, of course, we want it to be over with. But the fun of democracy is that you get the opportunity to reward and you get the opportunity to punish. And so, yes, it's a worthwhile process that you need to go through every 4 years rather than get somebody from somewhere imposing administrators. I grew up in a country, when I came back into this country, I grew up in a country where you had military, imposing people. And so to us now, this is some sort of luxury, us being able to make our choice and being able to make our decisions. But it is costly. And it is costly because you can living in a society where you make your choice does not come easy, from that point of view. But again, it's costly, and that's the reason why we must make it work, because we cannot invest all the money we invest, 380 or 60 billion, I don't know how much it is that INEC spent. And can you imagine what political parties also have been spending? Can you imagine the nomination fees? Can you imagine all those fees that have gone into it? Very, very expensive process. So let's hope that's going to be worth it. And let's hope that all this fun and games actually becomes not just fun and games, but actually moves, changes, and transforms the lives of the people.
All right, let's look at the new Naira note. It's quite amazing that we're talking about having the CBN produce more of the new Naira notes, but interestingly, it's drying up. And now we have the old notes and circulation even more. Now, would we say that their policy was just geared towards election? Because obviously the elections are almost over, and now you're having this new notes, which the CBN has said this will be the order of the day in terms of monetary policy in the country, and now it's drying up. We're having the ordinary notes in circulation. What does that mean?
Well, I think what it tells us is that the new notes were never in sufficient quantity, and I think that was obvious. They printed just a fraction of it, so it was never going to be enough. But also what it also tells us is that even though CBN said they destroyed the old notes, which means that a lot of old notes were in the possession of people. That's the charitable way of looking at it. And these old notes in the possession of people have now made their way back into the bank, into the hands of people, and of course that's what people are spending. But it means that we have postponed I don't know whether it's
the doomsday, right?
Well, I don't know whether it's the good day or the doomsday. I'm just trying to be careful here. But we postponed it.
But is it a policy somersault here?
Oh, well, it's an implementation somersault. I think the policy remains, but implementation, which was a time-specified, time-limited implementation, has now been extended. I think we're still going to get there. I think what happens in the, we've mentioned the United Kingdom in the past, we've mentioned even America, is that what happens is that when you change currency, it takes time, it's phased out. Some of us, when we came into this country in the early 70s, we saw the change from pound to naira. We used to spend pounds before. And it was seamless because, for a time, there was a period of time where we spent both, but it transformed. There used to be things like Ekmini or something like that. There used to be things like, I've forgotten all those Yoruba names, Toro, all those sort of things. There used to be all those sort of things, but it took time. And that's what's going to happen now, is that there's going to be a transition period, longer transition period, and people are going to be able to adjust better.
All right, this headline says petrol ex-depot price rises to 237 naira per litre. Now, according to this report, despite several government interventions to stabilize the price of petrol in the country, findings have shown that the ex-depot price of the commodity has risen to 237 from until the refineries are working, we'll keep having these few problems. Now, the Dangote refinery, which was reported to be inaugurated before the end of the first quarter of 2023, is there an update on whether this is still a possibility? The quarter is almost wrapping up, or has it all been shrouded in the election brouhaha?
DENIKE, I think your guess is as good as mine. Nobody really knows. We're not getting the news. We know that substantially is completed. They're probably doing their trials and, all those runs that they normally do, technical term for it. I don't know the technical term. But part of the problem is that we have a lot of fuel farms. What we mean by fuel farms is that these fuel farms, they're there where the fuel has been bought and placed, by these people that buy the fuel, but they don't have petrol stations. A lot of these independent marketers don't have petrol stations, so they rely on these fuel farms. NNPC has its own petrol stations and so on. That's the federal government, you understand, and many of them have their own, but this 80% do not have. So what are we finding? What we're finding is that they're having to buy, you understand, from others. And when they're having to buy from others, they are not dependent. Fixing the price, it does not depend on them. It depends on how much they're able to get it. And you know about economics, the basics of economics, is that if you have so many people chasing too few goods, then what tends to happen is that the price goes up. And that's what's going up. So many of these marketers are going after this very limited supply that is coming into these fuel farms, that's coming in through the NNPC, because NNPC still has a role to play, apart from its commercial role. Many of them, you understand, are finding it difficult to get it, And of course, the fuel supply that has been refined that is coming to the country is also limited. So the price is going up. And of course, that's what's going on in the world. Because we are subject to foreign exchange vagaries and so on, it's also affecting the price. And so at the end of the day, who suffers? We suffer. And that's why people are saying, remove this subsidy, whatever you call it now, so that we know where we are, you understand? And people, you understand, will not live in a false paradise. I think the second thing and the last thing before I wrap up is the fact that when you have this subsidy, which is linked to it, it is the rich and the poor that benefit from it. And the people that need to benefit from it are the poor, not the rich. And so it's not discriminatory.
All right, let's go to anti-corruption war itself. Now, a statement by President Buhari says he hopes the next administration will continue our corruption war. And now, a number of people will wonder, was it really an anti-corruption war in Nigeria as it stands? And he said he laid the foundation to fight against corruption. And many people will raise a lot of dust as to how much more did this administration was able to tackle instances of corrupt tendencies even within government.
What a load of baloney. Are we having a laugh? Are we really having a laugh? No, let's look at the statistics. You understand? I can count the number of people that were prosecuted successfully or unsuccessfully for political corruption. It doesn't reach 10. You can't count them on you can count them on the number of your fingers. So I don't understand. Of course, Buhari already had a reputation from the military regime, from the military era. But none of that, you understand, has translated into the so-called war against corruption. The real people that are being corrupt in government, the real people that are skimming off things, skimming off our petroleum PMS, making sure oil bunkering, all these procurement issues and so on and so forth, contract inflation and so on. None of them, of course, are being apprehended, prosecuted. If they have, maybe one or two. So, for him to come and say he laid the foundation, the person who laid the foundation was Olusegun Obasanjo. He created the EFCC and he created the ICPC. And of course, it was during the time of Ribadu, you understand, that people said the fear of Ribadu was the beginning of wisdom. Of course, that's a blasphemous statement. But that's what people were saying because of the fear that he induced in the politicians. So I don't understand who's been briefing our president. I don't understand where he's been. But most people will say that the war against corruption has been non-existent and that maybe towards the end it came up with this Naira thing. You understand? To stop many of these politicians from buying votes. But it's not been successful. It's been a disaster of monumental proportions.
So would we say the president is not mindful of the recent ranking that placed Nigeria 150 least corrupt nation out of 180 countries? Would we say the president is losing a blind eye to all of this development itself by making that categorical statement?
Is he? After all, it's not his finance minister. His minister of information said that those figures were fake and was, made a statement against them. I think he's living in cloud cuckoo land. Forgive me. I think he's not living in the reality that you and I are living. The statistics, the figures, the facts and figures are demonstratively clear. That Nigeria hasn't done well. Nigeria hasn't improved. We've even gone bad in terms of the fight against corruption. And I think part of the problem we have is that we have a president who is sort of disconnected from the day-to-day running of what's going on, even in the Aso Rock and around him. And I think the reality of it is that we need a real war against corruption. And the president-elect has said that if he comes in, what he's going to do is that he's going to increase credit and make credit more available so that people have less reason to steal and less reason to be corrupt.
All right, still speaking of rankings and statistics, Nigeria now 8th most terrorized country, 8th most terrorized country globally. According to a report, Nigeria has been ranked the 8th most terrorized country globally in 2022, dropping from a 6th position in 2021. I guess this can be added to our list of achievements. Now, according to this, deaths linked to terrorism in Nigeria dropped from 497 in 2021 to 385 in 2022. And the number of terrorist attacks also dropped from 214 in 2021 to 120 in 2022, the lowest recorded since 2011. This is an improvement, but should we even be on this list at all?
No, we shouldn't be on this list. I think it's unfortunate we're on the list. But we must give the government kudos that some progress has been made. But it's not enough. It's nearly not enough. And if they go to the bars, if they go to have some cocktails, and having a bevy or two, you understand, to celebrate it, then it will be unfortunate. I think there's nothing to celebrate. I think we're still in a terrible situation. You heard about what happened in Southern Kaduna, weeks ago. And of course, the same thing was repeated in Zamfara. We're still getting the news when it's allowed to filter through. we are still a very highly terrorized country. You understand? Progress is being made, but not nearly enough. Not nearly enough.
All right, I guess we have to go on this commercial. All right, before we go on the commercial, I also want you to speak on the instances of Oyo State and, of course, the preparation for the elections itself. It appears that tension is indeed very high. And we know, as a matter of fact, that the political party chieftains and, of course, the gladiators are becoming very desperate. What would we say to them at this time? Because we are in Oyo State, and obviously many people could have this apprehension of not wanting to come out tomorrow because of what we've seen in the last 12 hours thereabout. Now, what would we say to them?
I think generally, most polling units are peaceful. Generally, elections in Oyo State, that's my experience, are peaceful elections. People go about their business. So I don't think we should allow a few miscreants or a few hotspots here and there to dissuade the vast majority of us from going to exercise our votes. At the end of the day, we are going to have 4 years of government, you understand? And we have an opportunity to influence that. We have an opportunity to make an impact. We have an opportunity to be the masters of our destiny, or the mistresses of our destiny. I don't know if I can say that on radio. But we have that opportunity. And that opportunity comes by exercising the vote, by going there, you understand? And if it takes the whole day, so be it. I mean, what are you going to do anyway? Markets are not going to really be available. You understand? Your favorite pastime, golf, and all those things may not be available.
But what does the politicians need to tell their loyalists at this time?
Absolutely. The same thing, you understand? That exercise your votes, have faith in the fact that the voice of the people is the voice of God. You understand? Have faith in your programs. Have faith in the fact that you've campaigned and campaigned and campaigned, and the people, you understand, will exercise their democratic right in the way that they deem it fit. And also, for many of those politicians, many of them are still young. If you don't get it this time, you may get it next time. I'm not going to mention names, but there are politicians who have gone 3 or 4 times. In fact, I can mention the president because he's not contesting. He went 3 times. It was on the 4th time that he got it. So the fact that you lose out now, it's not do or die. There may be another opportunity. There may be another avenue.
All right, we go on that commercial break. When we return, we'll open the phone lines for your reactions. Stay with us.
Stay tuned to 32 FM 94.9.
Babe, how you want to pay for baking course? With small money where person they make.
Course? No, because I be bake like bro. No worry, I get plan.
You get plan.
I get super binge plan.
For whatever you want to learn on YouTube, you need a plan like the INT'L Super Binge Plan. Simply dial *141*514# now to enjoy 2 GB of data and 1 hour worth of free YouTube data every day for just 500 naira.
INT'L, the smartphone network.
My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in your weakness. Christ Apostolic Church, Covenant of Mercy, Mercy Camp presents 72 Hours with God. Theme, Grace. Guest artists, Big Bolaji, Evangelist Yinka Alashiori, Elijah Olorun Sobe, Evangelist Dari Melody, Bridget Adenubi Esther, Atinuke Adefisoy Rimajem, Benga Denuga, Chigozie, and our very host, God's anointed prophet of our time, Prophet Taiwo Ojo, and other ministers of God. 72 Hours with God will be happening live at CSC Mercy Camp, Kilometer 18, Ibadan Ife Expressway, Oshengere, Ikire Road, Ibadan, from Friday the 24th to Monday the 27th of March 2023, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., 3 to 5 p.m., Vigil 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. For more information, please call 0805-027-5779 or 0813-726-6076. 72 Hours with God. Grace like never before.
Sleep is a beautiful gift of nature. Sleep is essential for performance, to reduce stress, and for our total well-being. Join Muka as we spread the word about sleep to make the world a healthier place. Happy World Sleep Day from Muka. Muka, adding comfort to life since 1959.
So, as you wake up, one first check highlight for early momo, you can't remember, say, time for school runs don't reach you. Baller wey sabi be 1-4 hand for there. How you go do your thing? Come still catch up with your game. That na baller wey sabi. How you go do your waka? Come still watch the game full time. Abi, come on, baller. Showmax dey your side. Sake of say dem dey summer you with better leagues for any screen, anytime, any day. No matter where you dey. For chicken money wey be 3,200 naira a month. Live from SuperSport on Showmax Pro. Make you sign up for showmax.com.
For dis Naija wey we dey so, say you no hold cash no mean say wahala dey o. You wan send money to Male for Villa, just use Momo. You wan buy recharge card or data, just use Momo. You wan pay for market wey you buy, just use Momo. You fit use Momo run plenty things without cash. As long as you get Momo account, no cash, no wahala. And e dey easy to open o. Just dial *671# to open Momo account. Set your PIN, transfer money from your bank account inside your Momo account. Make you fit dey pay for anything, send and receive money sharp because life dey simple with Momo.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
All right, we're back with you on the show, the Break It Down Papers Review, and it's time to take your reactions this morning. Please note that we are not doing any form of campaign. If you campaign, we're going to be forced to cut you off, and please just let's keep whatever we say within the ambits of
what we discussed earlier.
Yes, what we discussed earlier. Thank you for borrowing me that word. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is GBOLABO.
We can hear you. Please go on.
The news that guiding my head this morning is that the statement credit to Bola Tinubu that he's going to recruit a technocrat into his cabinet. Because the failure of Buhari administration is that those who are in his cabinet are technically incompetent. Because most of them didn't do anything that will make Nigeria good. Most of them are just a minister of FIDA and look. Because many of them are just transferred in the square hole. They don't make anything happen at all. That's what called the causes of a Buhari failure. But if Tinubu can make the technocrat in his cabinet, the one that makes the thing happen, not based on his sentiment or on religion, I hope the man will succeed. That's my comment. Have a nice day.
There'll be
All
some.
right, thank you so much.
There'll be some who will say that he had one of the greatest technocrats as his vice president.
All right.
0705 500949 and 0809 7949. Those are the numbers to call. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Okay, do call us back. We're also live on Facebook. It is facebook.com/32FM949 Ibadan. And we're going to be taking reactions in a bit. But the numbers again, 0705 500949.
All right, let's take this from Omar Basharon. Abiola says, good morning to you, Prof. Ojedokun. Honestly, this is highly frustrating. A country we have been complaining about bad governance more than 2 decades now, still escalated on daily basis. Let's be frank with ourselves. This is pure leadership failure. All right.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, Denike.
Good morning.
Honorable morning, I'm Prof.
Good morning.
Prof, should we even be found in that list of the most terrorized in the first place? And if we shouldn't be found there, now how do we get out of it? These are actually what I think the rulers should actually think of. I think it's a bad record being found in dust. We are now being compared to countries like Afghanistan and their likes. And I don't think that tells good about us. How do we now get out of it? These are the things I think we all should look at. The incoming rulers now, because I refuse to call them leaders, should think of how we get out of this. How do we curb all these things? And if it's been existing, how do we stop it? And for this past, the ones that are going out now, I don't agree with the first caller. We have one of the best technocrats. The technocrats we have, they were there. Probably they were not given room to express themselves. Probably that's why we have what we have now. Good morning. This is okay.
Good morning, okay.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to everyone in the studio.
Good morning.
Professor Jedokun, good morning. Thank you for reading my message on Facebook.
Okay.
I'm appealing to the people of Oyo State to please tomorrow morning go out and cast your vote for the best choice of the best candidate of your choice. vote for competency, not by pocket. It's only because you don't choose by merit anymore. It's a pure leadership failure. Honestly, see about the cashless policy. I don't see anything wrong with the policy. But what we are complaining about is the time and methodology of implementation, which is very, very bad. That's what we are saying. So this is purely leadership failure. Please go out and cast your vote for the best candidate of your choice.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, everybody in the studio.
Good morning.
This is John Olaruwaju from Majo. Fighting corruption order, Mr. President, to me. I can't even rate it at all, because to me it's not fighting any corruption. Like the analyst said, to me it's like Mr. President, I don't agree with him that he lay any foundation fighting corruption. Obasanjo laid the foundation by creating the EFCC and ICPC. So, and I think that Mr. President, Buhari is supposed to improve it. And I didn't see any improvement. Rather, we are even see some lapses. Look at power. There are some people stood against him now that they should remove him. The court make a pronouncement and didn't follow the court order. So is it not a corruption? And Buhari said that it's fighting corruption. To me, I don't think so. And on the terrorists, I wonder, where are the bandits? Where are the kidnappers? They just vanished all of this sudden. I think they need to investigate this. That is why we are rating like that. Because we don't used to investigate, and we don't, even if we investigate, we don't even follow it. Those are the things that we need to look at. And I'm expecting the coming president to look at this. Thank you. Good morning.
All right. Thank you very much. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please turn down the volume on your radio.
Johnny Jack is my name.
All right. Good morning.
Thank you. The war against corruption. Thank you, Professor Udo.
Please, you need to turn down the volume on your radio. We are getting very heavy feedback.
I think it's okay like this.
All right.
The war against corruption is the serious joke in the Nigerian entire history. I've said this several times. At one time in our history, did the whole accountant general made or stole or conferred 1 billion public funds and sought for a plea bargaining? Right now, Professor, that accountant general had not been brought back to the Federal High Court for sanction. All we had was that he had brought 30 billion naira. And I want to talk about this Alaro money. The policy was geared towards election in my own view. The president in his broadcast to the nation on 16 February claimed that the policy had brought reduction in money politics. Regrettably, it was an exercise in futility, as evidence of both buying and other inducement were recorded. I'm John Njoku. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Balkis Onodira on Facebook says, I kindly request that everyone practice tolerance and patience both during and after the elections. Let's avoid using force or acting aggressively in any way. Let's embrace the principles of harmony and compassion. Godspeed to Nigeria.
All right, Sulaiman Sheriff says, good morning, 32 FM crew. Politics should be about service and not about self. I'm urging our politicians to wait for God's time to get into leadership positions, because leadership is not by force. It is about serving the people. The attack to PDP councillor for Ward 10 is worrisome. So if you want to lead the people, you cannot kill them before you lead them. I know PDP cannot kill themselves when the election is less than 48 hours.
All right, Olokwademi says, good morning. Nothing has really changed since the CBN governor ordered the implementation of the Supreme Court judgment that our old notes should still be legal tender till December, because these notes are still not readily available in our banks, and this is evident in the way banks limit customers to 20,000 naira. Yeah. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, this is Bulu Atisemi. I'm calling from Basho.
All right, Miriam. Please
Hello.
go on. We can hear you.
All
Please
right,
go on.
you. It's now clear that the incumbent president had the set of wrong people in his cabinet, which is the main reason why things keep degenerating greatly under his watch. Talking of the poor economy, and to even see things that the inflation rate is down 21.91% when they met it at 9.01. So I hope the president-elect will not also disappoint us at the end of the day. No, that's my take. Good morning.
All right, thank you very much. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Balti Ronoji, and I'm calling from Ibadan. I just want to urge Nigerians that elections shouldn't be about violence. Whoever wants to lead us shouldn't kill us before he leads us. That is it. Then when you look at many of our politicians, irrespective of their political differences, after the polls, they are still friends. So we should please, for the sake of God and humanity, do not allow any politician to use us as a devilish tool. Because at the end of the day, it's her and our family that will bear the brunt. May God choose the best leader for us in Oyo State on Saturday. Good morning.
All right, 0705 5949 and 0809 7949.
All right, let's take this from Raji Afiz Abidemi. Says, good morning, GBOLABO, DENIKE, an analyst in the studio. Tomorrow is gubernatorial and state assembly elections across 32 states in Nigeria. I want to urge every Nigerian citizen who are eligible to vote that they should vote, not fight. The politician children are in abroad enjoying themselves presently. We youth in Oyo State should not allow anyone to use us as thugs. Tell them that they should invite their children. God bless Nigeria.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I am Platus. I'm calling from Ibadan here.
All right, please go on.
I want to speak on the Naira redesign policy. I think broadcasters or reporters, we should try as much as possible to see how we can encourage Nigerians to embrace the cashless policy. Because that cashless policy has to stay, and that is just a fact. So each time we speak about this redesign policy, we should encourage them to, try open accounts. We can ensure there are diverse and several accounts now you can actually open online. So we should try and see how we can talk to these people to open accounts.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, Prof, it's time for us to leave the studios. Any final words as we leave?
Well, let's hope. Let's light. Let's just keep on believing.
All right. Thank you, Professor Olu Ojadoku, for joining us. That's the much that we can take on the Break of Dawn Papers review this morning. It comes again tomorrow by 6 o'clock. I am at DENIKE, at Dimowago.
And I'm GBOLABO, famous school. Bye for now.